For months, seniors, families, and advocates have been waiting. Waiting for answers. Waiting for relief. And tonight, what we are witnessing may be remembered as a turning point in the history of America's retirement and disability programs. 7 major changes are quietly being rolled out to SSI, SSDI, and benefits, changes that directly touch the lives of millions of Americans, especially those turning 65 this September. The numbers are staggering, the stakes are high, and the impact will be felt in every corner of the country, from grocery store aisles to doctors' offices, from rent checks to utility bills. This story is not just about policy, it is about dignity, survival, and the choices Americans are forced to make every single day. For decades, seniors have warned Washington, the system is stretched, broken, and outdated. And now, it appears that lawmakers, under growing public pressure, have been forced to act. But the question remains, is it too little, too late? Let's start with the background. Supplemental Security Income and Social Security Disability Insurance were created as lifelines, promises that America would never abandon its most vulnerable. Yet for years, beneficiaries have described those payments as barely enough to scrape by. With inflation pushing grocery prices up nearly 20% in just 3 years, with rent hikes in nearly every major city, and with prescription drugs like insulin costing hundreds of dollars per month, many seniors were left with no choice but to ration their food, delay doctor's visits, or lean on family who themselves are struggling. It has been a slow-moving crisis, one that has left millions wondering how long the safety net could hold. Now, change is coming. And it begins with the first of 7 reforms. The first change is an increase to the monthly base payment. Beginning in September, seniors turning 65 will see what officials are calling a modest but meaningful rise. Estimates suggest an average boost of $145 per month for SSI recipients and up to $190 for SSDI, depending on years worked and earnings history. Advocates call it a lifeline. Critics argue it's barely a dent. But for someone like Margaret Reynolds of Ohio, who spends nearly $600 a month on heart medication, this increase could mean the difference between filling every prescription or skipping doses. The second change focuses on the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. Historically calculated once per year, seniors have long argued that a single adjustment fails to keep pace with the rapid rise in costs. Starting this fall, COLA will be reviewed quarterly, with smaller, automatic adjustments tied to inflation trends. Supporters say this will finally make the program responsive to reality. Skeptics warn it could be volatile and unpredictable, leaving families unsure of what to expect. The third change, perhaps the most controversial, involves eligibility. For years, strict income and asset limits excluded thousands from benefits, even if they were living in poverty. As of September, the asset cap will be raised from $2,000 to $10,000 for individuals, and from $3,000 to $18,000 for couples. It may sound technical, but the impact is enormous. Seniors who carefully saved for emergencies, just enough for a car repair or medical copay, will no longer be punished for being responsible. Yet budget watchdogs argue this expansion will add billions to long-term costs. The fourth change is a direct response to the health crisis gripping America's seniors: medication coverage. For the first time, SSI and SSDI beneficiaries will receive an automatic $85 monthly credit, applied directly to pharmacy purchases. That means fewer seniors forced to choose between insulin and groceries, between blood pressure pills and electricity bills. The stories here are heartbreaking. In Texas, a retired factory worker named Daniel Lopez confessed he has been cutting his pills in half for 3 years just to stretch prescriptions. Advocates say this measure could save lives. The fifth change targets housing. Beginning in October, seniors will gain access to a new benefits housing adjustment, with payments rising by up to $250 per month in high-cost cities. Lawmakers admit the program is experimental and subject to revision. But with rents climbing by double digits in states like California, Florida, and New York, this adjustment could mean staying in an apartment rather than facing homelessness. The sixth change is about speed and access. The Social Security Administration has been plagued with delays, some cases taking more than a year to process. Starting September 15, a new digital platform will allow retirees to apply, track, and receive approval in as little as 6 weeks. Officials call it a modernization, while advocacy groups caution that seniors without internet access could be left behind. And finally, the seventh change, perhaps the most symbolic, deals with dignity. For the first time, Americans turning 65 will automatically be enrolled in an essential needs grant, a one-time $1,200 credit issued during their birthday month. Officials describe it as a recognition of transition, a cushion to ease the shift into retirement. For some, it may go toward paying down debt. For others, it might cover a long-delayed dental procedure or simply groceries for the month. But for millions, it will be a rare moment of breathing room. The debate in Washington has been fierce. Supporters argue that after years of neglect, these reforms signal progress, proof that seniors are finally being heard. Critics say the timing is political, with midterms approaching and pressure mounting from advocacy groups. Some economists warn the cost could spiral, pushing the Social Security trust funds into deeper uncertainty. Others argue that the price of inaction is far higher, pointing to rising poverty rates among seniors, now estimated at nearly 10% nationwide. But beyond the numbers, there are the faces. The grandmother in Detroit who skips meals so her grandchildren can eat. The disabled veteran in Arizona who juggles 3 part-time jobs to cover rent. The retired teacher in Pennsylvania who worked 40 years, only to find her benefits don't stretch far enough. For them, these 7 changes are not abstract, they are survival. September is just weeks away, and with it, the lives of millions could shift in subtle yet profound ways. Will this be remembered as the month America finally rebalanced the scales for its seniors? Or will it prove to be another patch on a system still struggling to meet modern needs? The truth may take years to unfold. What is clear tonight is this: for seniors turning 65 in September, the message is simple. The nation has not forgotten you. Your struggles, your sacrifices, and your dignity matter. And though questions remain, about cost, fairness, and the future, there is, at least for now, a glimmer of hope. Because at its core, this is not just a story about programs or politics. It is about people. People who worked, served, and built this country. People who deserve more than just survival, they deserve security, respect, and peace of mind. And perhaps, with these changes, America is finally beginning to deliver on that promise. But beyond the immediate relief, there's a deeper question echoing across America: are these 7 changes just the beginning of a larger shift? Some experts believe this marks the first step toward a broader reimagining of retirement security, one that could reshape how future generations age in this country. Imagine a system that doesn't force seniors to navigate endless paperwork, but automatically adjusts support based on real living costs. Imagine a program where turning 65 is not met with fear and financial anxiety, but with reassurance and stability. Skeptics say such a vision is too ambitious, too costly, too political. Yet for millions of families already balancing food, rent, and healthcare, ambition may be the only option left. These reforms could be remembered not only as survival measures, but as the foundation for a new social contract. And if you've been following this story and want to stay ahead of every update that affects you, your parents, or your grandparents, make sure to like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the story of America's seniors is still being written, and you deserve to know every chapter.